talk about Instagram and those kind of items and why social media can be a good thing for us, and how we can work and publicize and basically market ourselves depending on what we're going to do. So we'll chat about that, and we'll chat just a little bit more about the logo and getting that going. And I'll get a spec sheet typed up and getting that up online. But hopefully you guys have all thought about quote a travel agency or type of travel agency for this next project that we're going to be doing logo for. So by Thursday, I should be able to ask you, what's the name of your travel agency? And you'll say, hey, it's Acme Travel. They specialize in travel to the Rocky Mountains, and their key demographic or key area they're working with are young couples 20 to 30 or something like that. So you can have kind of a base outline for what you're thinking about for your travel agency. Again, that's going to help you with your design and the style and the look and the feel, compared to if it was the same company and they were doing travel to Alaska and they were going towards seniors. It's going to be a little bit different potentially. In fact, they would be different. And the things that would change would be potentially typefaces, change color palettes, potentially some of the imagery might change. So again, just having those kind of ideas in mind are what we need. And then of course, doing research online for companies that would be similar, companies that you kind of looking at designs and things to kind of inspire you, so you can get into the design yourself. So, and we'll do that a little bit more as we go here, and definitely on Thursday we'll go through and I'll mock up an example for you, kind of a demonstration. But let me know if you have questions on that. Like I said, that's we're moving towards that, and we've got time to do that, to finish those up, and then we're going to move into a travel poster as we continue along this semester. All right. Questions at all? Nada? Nothing? All right. So let me get my share going. All right. We're gonna again talk about social media today and a couple aspects of it and how we can start to utilize it as designers. How you can build it into potentially a money-making enterprise type of thing, or just ways that you can start to use it to publicize you and your work, to potentially find more work, and or use it as somewhat of a portfolio site as you start to get out there and work in the future here. Nothing says you have to have an official website at this point. I mean, things are different today. 10 years ago, so yeah, everybody's got to have a website, bam, and here's how to do it, and let's learn some HTML and put up a website. But today we're at a different time where you can have the HTML, you can have the site, but you don't necessarily have to have it as a traditional website. You could do something like Instagram to start to publicize and promote your work. Okay. And as we go along here, again, if there's any questions or things, just shout out or type something in to the chats, and we'll get that straightened out. So can I make the assumption that everybody here is on something? Facebook's, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Anybody not on social media?
for a long time wasn't on a lot of stuff, but then I literally I took this one art class where my professor literally required we have an Instagram, so
Okay.
that's most of
How
what
you
I
do?
use now.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't catch that.
So now you do have a Instagram.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay.
No, I do have a kind of like small sort of portfolio-ish type Instagram where I just kind of dump all my art and homework on, do.
Cool. I think that's a perfectly valid way of using Instagram. Honestly, I do. Um, Anybody else? Tumblr, TikTok. Okay. So, what are your experiences? What do you think? I mean, there's obviously a lot of talk about it's good. There's talk about it being bad. The talk about it you not feel good because you watched this or TikTok or you didn't get enough likes and now you feel like whatever. What are your thoughts on this whole thing before we get into tell you how I work it?
Oh, what, just broadly using Instagram?
Yes, or whatever you're using, whether it's Instagram, Facebook,
I mean,
Tumblr.
honestly, for the most part, I kind of just when I was using the term dump, I kind of meant it literally. I kind of just throw my stuff on there and I just sort of forget about it. I don't
Okay.
even know like how much attention most of my stuff even gets. But I will say though, it is Instagram is also very good at just finding stuff.
Hmm.
Like if you're looking for references and that sort of thing. So every so often, if I got a which like a like if Phil requires me to do like a reference sheet assignment, sometimes I'll just go on Instagram and once I just look up a couple of things, it'll just start recommending things like crazy, and it makes life so much easier when
Hmm.
you're trying to look for images and that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah.
So I think it's helpful for the most.
Okay. Others? Yeah, we're gonna go over tagging and all that kind of stuff. So those that aren't kind of into that yet, or it's kind of using it, but they're not like how to finesse it and how to get it to work better for you. We're going to go over some of that today. That's the whole point of today. Um, Anybody else? All right. So again, I think this thing quote social um, obviously has downsides, but I also think it can have some positive sides. I've been on Instagram almost since it started, way back yonder, before Facebook and all that took it over. It was probably a few months into it when it came out, and I liked it obviously because I like photography, and it would just kind of felt very natural to me with that. Um, and I use and I think I'm going to talk about specifics of Instagram because I'm using that every day. Um, but I use it literally every day for my National Park Geek um, work site. I've been posting every day for 6+ years, anywhere from 3 to 5 to 6 pictures, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little bit less, but literally every day I post it. And you know, the point of it is you got to use it, and it's when I first started using Instagram, for example, it was in a chronological order. So if you post it now, um, you could go through the feed and eventually you would get back to this time frame and you would see whoever posted at what time. So time was very, very critical at that point, that you posted at 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock. It was important to get in the kind of the span. Now it's all these algorithms running, and really it goes back to likes, in the sense of how often do you particularly like a certain um, person or Instagram site. So if you like, let's say you we'll pick, I don't know, the LA Rams, whatever. They have to have an Instagram. So if you every time the Instagram shows you the LA Rams and start liking it, it will show you that more often. Okay. And eventually it's also going to show you potentially other football teams also. But for the most part, it's going to definitely show you the LA Rams more. Okay. So whenever you like somebody, they're gonna come back up into your feed much more often. So you gotta have something to come into their feed. Okay, it doesn't pull up things in your feed that you've already liked typically. So for the most part, it's going to go back into you like the Rams or you like um, I don't know, Coca-Cola, and it's going to start bringing those back into your feed because you've recently liked them in there. So you got to have stuff in your feed. Now, I hear this probably most often when we're talking about this is people like, I don't have anything to post. I don't have enough content to post 2 or 3 times a day or more. And yes, the model I picked up or worked up with my National Park Geek thing, I've got built-in content, and we'll go through that. But I say you do, okay? And again, many times people are like, well, it's not done. Well, it doesn't need to be done. You can still process. It doesn't need to be done today. It could have been something from 6 weeks ago or 6 years ago. It really doesn't matter. You just have to put content up. And again, your content should be good, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Meaning, it's okay to share the work in progress, or it's okay to say, hey, I started this project and it didn't work out. And then you kind of talk about why it didn't work out. And that's okay too. Um, and it's okay to steer away from what maybe your main principal thing is, if you need to. So if you're concentrating on your own physical art, design, photography, and that's the main focus of your Instagram, and you're showing that all the time. But you're like, you know what? I just went to see this really great concert, and and you want to put a picture up from the concert. That's okay too. Okay, because it's all related, right? You maybe took a great photograph, but it's art, it's music, it's everything comes in. And even if it's not something completely related, you went fishing with your friends and you want to share that, that's okay too, right? It's about showing that you're human and this is who you are. So it doesn't always have to be specific to what your kind of focus is. And you'll see this oftentimes with many people. Some people just stay right on track, and that's okay. But I think it's okay to show other things at times and not be so stuck. And that's where your content kind of tends to kind of grow. What can I put up? Because you're working with other things all of a sudden. Okay, you're not just showing your art and design, you're now showing something else. Or it's, you were going to go to an art museum and this is like pictures along the way, or you did a movie of that and now you have a story or a Instagram video you want to put up. Okay, so it's perfectly fine to pull sources in from other areas. Now, the way I've set up my Instagram basically is I designed it because I wanted to be kind of this community, and I wanted this community kind of have people be inspired, but also become a part of it and share. So I came up with a hashtag National Park Geek, and at this point we're pushing almost 1 million times that it's been used. No, I haven't used it 1 million times. It's been others. Okay, so 915,089 times it's been tagged. Someone's tagged a photo with it. Now, of course, I've done some of it, but I haven't done it 915,000 times. But we're getting there, right? We're not up to the national parks or the word national parks. Those have obviously been used more, but I'm pretty happy something I created started done 915,000 posts with that. Gets me kind of feeling fuzzy. So hashtags are the key. We got to put those in. We have to work with that. And again, I compose my Instagram coming from the viewers, coming from the people that contribute. So I will come through and look at people that have tagged me in post, okay, and I go through these, and then I also go through the post themselves and people that have tagged National Park Geek. as a source of images. Okay, because I can't be out there every time, and there's a lot of beautiful work from professional, semi-professional photographers that are out there. And if I see something I like, I simply like it, and then I save it. Okay, so I can come back to it later, and I can do some reposting and decide what I want. Sometimes it's something it's a nice picture. I like it a lot. I haven't shown that location potentially, so I can save it up and use it later. Or I know there's something I want to feature down the line. Um, this is a turkey, looks like. Obviously, Thanksgiving's coming up. It's the smoky, maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to save it up because Thanksgiving's coming up in a month. I might want a picture of a turkey type of thing. And that one's from the Great Smoky Mountains. So, it's kind of bringing it all together with that. So I've got, again, I'm lucky. The subject matter of this site and my business here is parks, and people love the parks and they contribute to this. And I get hundreds a day that people have tagged. So I try to get through as many as I can and like them. Okay. And that's important thing too, is to go through and kind of like photographs. If you have a dedicated post, or I should say dedicated hashtag, yeah, you definitely should go through. But even if you don't, you're going to have hashtags that you start to use that are appropriate for what you're doing: art, design, graphic design, topography, I don't know, whatever it's going to be, and start to go through some of them. So if, let's say, you use hashtag topography a lot, you like type and you're into it, and you just use that hashtag. So look for stuff that go with that hashtag. And I can tell you, as you do that, as you start to use that hashtag or look at it, you're going to find people. So I'm going to, there's 18 million people who use hashtag topography a lot. But I'm going to just kind of go through. And what I'm going to tell you is, if you go through and you see stuff you like, and you like it, people are going to notice that. People are going to go, wait a second, who was that looked at my type? Because you and I know, as somebody looks at your stuff and gives you a like, you kind of like, who is that? Right? And they come and look at your feed, and next thing you know, they're like, hey, I like what they're doing. I think I'm going to follow along. Okay. Or you're going to look at their work and go, hey, I like what they're doing, and I'm going to follow along. So here's the typo. I don't know who this is. 4,000 posts. They've been posting quite actively. I'm looking at the time dates just to say 10 minutes ago. So they're up and they're working it. I don't, it's like no sense doing it if they haven't posted in 10 months. And you can kind of see, like, wow, they're looking at ordinary things and finding type and shape and so forth throughout. And they got some kind of system going on here, which is fine. So you're like, wow, that's just a beautiful amber Sam's. Okay, you come through and like it. Now, I guarantee you, they're gonna probably at some point today go look at my site and go, oh, what is this? That like my picture. Because again, we tend to do that. And I do that on my own personal site and say, hey, who was that person that liked this photograph? Because we're just curious that way. So, go out and like, and you're gonna do this, and you're also gonna make, quote, new social Instagram friends type of thing, because you're seeing what they're doing, you like it, and you follow along, and that creates a good thing. So hashtags are really kind of the key. You can see here they've used hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags in Instagram. You should be as specific as you can to help you out and help you define. So topography, we saw, had like 12 million. So it's specific, but it's not that specific because there's 12 million. If you get into something else like, type series or punctuation, it's going to be less. Okay, so you have to try to balance out your hashtags between very finite, like doing maybe just hashtag, which this would be, or something very broad like topography, or even broader like design. Okay, so you want to kind of balance your hashtags out so they're kind of getting a bigger and smaller audience as you're going, but you want to be related. You don't want to put hashtag sunset on this picture, even though sunset might be in the top 10 popular hashtags being used, because it's not related to sunset, right? So you want to kind of keep it related to what you're doing. so people will come and will find it and will like it and it makes sense. Okay, so be logical with your hashtags. And again, look at other people. So if I was going to build a topography website, I would look at the top people doing topography out there, and I would look at their hashtags, and I would go, wow, these are kind of cool. Let me select and copy them, and then I'm going to go through and edit out ones that I want. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can kind of go, okay, typographic works, or punctuation a day. You can start to go through and see what is being used out there in the industry, and duplicate and modify to your own success. Okay, so I would say one, I like the idea of a personalized hashtag. I think that works. And then going through and figuring out what hashtags will work for you based upon what you're doing. Okay, and being consistent and always using hashtags. And they're going to bring people in, and then using hashtags to find other people, because that's how we all work on this thing. Is people will hashtag, look up a hashtag, and that's how we go in. Okay, and that's how we get it. So if I go back here and then just do hashtag punctuation, let me see what comes up. See if that function even works on the test. It does. So 66,000, not a lot, which is a good number. And you can start to go through and just see if there's anything in here that visually works for you. And then, maybe that leads you into something else. Okay, so hashtags are cool. Look at that. I did that on a pumpkin. That's nuts, dude. If you do this on a pumpkin, I'll give you an A. Anybody up for the challenge? You can carve out that in a pumpkin. Dude, you're rocking it. Prove you did it. Give me a little video. Show me your work this. I'm just like, you're good. You're good. If you got that kind of talent, that's crazy. Crazy cool. All right. So use hashtags, and that's going to lead you into a bigger audience as we go. Let me get this down here. Be consistent with your postings. Don't have to be the same time. It doesn't have to be 9 o'clock every day, but post. And I would say, ideally, if you're trying to build up your following, once, twice a day, and then you got to be active in there, not just with posting, but interactive. Meaning, if someone comments on a post, you got to comment back, and you got to get in there, and you got to comment on other people, and you got to actively be liking and following. It takes time. It's work. Okay, no one said it was easy, but it's work. It's fun. I don't know if it's hard work, but it's work. And you do have to get in there and be active with it. Otherwise, it won't grow. Okay. Now again, I started with 0, and as of we're at 739, so almost 740,000 people, and it's been 6 years. So I mean, it's been a good moderate growth. It's not a million a day type of thing. It's not 10,000 in a day. It's a few hundred every day, kind of growing, and I think that's a good thing. It's organic growth. There's nothing artificial about it. Nothing that's been paid or anything trickery that's been done. It's all just been playing by the rules and doing what they recommend to do stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
sorry. In
Please.
my experience, from what I've seen with like popular accounts,
Mhm.
like the faster they rise, usually the faster they fall. Kind of like, I don't know if you remember that one guy who was famous for riding his longboard with the cranberry juice, singing the Fleetwood Mac and all that.
Mm-mm.
It was like
Down.
this little fad going on where this guy just rode a skateboard and drank cranberry juice from the
Okay.
bottle.
Uh-huh.
And everybody was doing it, and he gained a ton of followers like overnight.
I saw that
And
video.
yeah,
It had like
and
16 million likes or something.
yeah, it like caught on like wildfire.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, he got popular overnight, but then within a month, nobody was talking about him ever again. He had almost no value in the social world anymore because all he had to offer was that one video. And so
Mhm.
he didn't really gain his followers from anything that he could actually consistently do. So that's that, I guess.
Well, I think if you lucky to get that kind of some kind of hit, that just kind of takes off. You're right. You got to keep it going, right? You got to keep not necessarily doing the same thing, but you got to keep giving content. Why this works and why you follow the people you follow, if they're not your friend type of thing, it's because they're giving you content, right? So you got to give them content, because otherwise they're off to something else. So that's why I post every day, is I want people to literally have like a microsecond where they look at that and go, wow, that's beautiful. It just kind of chills them for a second. Or B, it's like, wow, that's awesome, beautiful, I need to go there. Or C, it's awesome, beautiful, and I need to help protect that place because that's a part of our history and culture, and I want to maybe someday go there. Or D, it's like, wow, that's so awesome and cool, we went there, and that's taking you back into memories, right? That's taking you back down that road of, wow, that was such a great time. And the cool thing about the parks is most people have good times there, and you can show that, and it kind of takes you there. And that's the part of it. That's part of what I'm trying to do, is give you a second or two where you're just kind of pausing, or you're intrigued, like, where the heck is that at? Like, oh my God, that's a Death Valley. That's not too far away. That's like, 3-4 hour drive. It's not too far. Maybe we should go, type of thing. So, that's kind of my point. So you're right. You got to be consistent. If you happen to get something that blows up, you got to keep putting content out there, but you got to keep doing content anyway, just to kind of keep into the feeds. So, you got to work it that way. Okay. And you'll hope if you get it and you have something idea, go like, the guy with the board, the sign, right? The cardboard sign guy. What is his name? What is that? Man with sign.
Oh yeah, man with sign, and he always
Okay.
has like something new on his sign.
I don't think no, that's not the ring. Man with sign. I don't know. I don't know which one's the one. Anyway, you guys have seen it, right? The guy that holds up the cardboard signs, and I follow him. I don't know if I follow him on this account, on my personal account. He's always holding the sign up, and he's doing, and that's cool. And he's done stuff, and now he's gotten sponsorships and done specific ones, and that's totally fine. He's kept on message like that, with the occasional sponsorship with it. Dude with sign. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Dude with sign. Oops. Really? The internet's that slow now? Sad. We got 7.7 million, right? And he's only got 200 posts. Now he may have cleaned up some posts, I don't know, taken some out, but this thing just kind of took off out of nowhere, and he's been consistent. And some of them respond. This looks like a sponsor for the game center. Squid, I guess that is. I don't know if it's
The Squid Games TV show.
Yeah. I don't, and he does it consistently, and saying calm down doesn't work. I know it's entertaining, it's funny. And I know I follow him like on my personal account, but he doesn't show up all the time because I haven't liked it. Does that make sense? I haven't looked at it and liked it. So you got to kind of keep people in you want to stay in people's view. So that's where that posting becomes consistent. And if I start to like him, he'll start to follow up and start to show up into my feed as we go. So posting is important. Okay. And again, if you get a following and that starts to jump off, that's cool. You can work that into something else at the time. But I don't know anybody. Well, some people might start out because this is what they want to do. the big make a bazillion people follow them. But you know, I think ultimately we should kind of think of it as a way to kind of communicate and promote and sell, not that we're going to make 1 million people or get 7 million people and you know, change the world and make lots of money doing it. It can happen, obviously, right? To do what the sign did it. Was he the first? No. Why it caught and went crazy and went viral, I don't know, but it worked. Okay, and other things have done that way through viral websites and, you know, YouTube videos and everything else goes. Things just kind of take off, and sometimes we know why and sometimes we don't. But most importantly is to be consistent, and promote yourself through this, and promote yourself through your hashtags, and use this as a way to kind of get your stuff out there. And I also say use it as a way to kind of have fun and be creative, right? I mean, you guys are all kind of, you know, creative for the most part. That's why you're kind of in this class. Then you might be going forward with it, but you're gonna, even if you're not, you're gonna be going into whatever you want. If you go into chemistry, this class can help you because you can use these programs now. But even in chemistry, you might need to promote yourself or tell your stories, whether it be Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Being able to utilize these things is going to be important as you continue to go, or even just as a little spot of creativity that you do. I have my own site here, which is obviously not as big, and I've just been doing, but I just put up a picture a day, and it becomes an artistic project for me. I go back through my photos and just find one I like, and it kind of takes me back to when I was able to visit there, and I'll do a little, you know, processing on the phone kind of thing. Time I met David Spade. Yeah. Just kind of way to work it, or like there's a new program. It was like, hey, there's a little video program. Let me learn this video program. So I just kind of play with it, right? And how does it work? And I just kind of put things together with that. So, you know, as an artist, a designer, an instructor, I'm needing to learn these things and kind of play and experiment, you know, so this kind of becomes my platform of being able to do that. And like I said, I'm not doing it because I like the follows, and I'm not trying to monetize it in any kind of way. I'm just doing it because I like doing it. I like being creative. And if nothing else, for 5 minutes a day, I get to be creative and play with a photograph and edit it and go back through. Okay, so it's a good thing. Like I said, I think these way things can be not only good personally, but also good from a business standpoint, publicity standpoint, should you want to. Let me show you. I think it's Tommy. I think there we go. Oops, oops. So a friend of mine, Tommy, he used to be a student of mine years and years ago. He started as a designer. He graduated from college, was working with Bear Paints. At one point, he decided to go basically full-time freelancing. Going to let his wife take care of. She had a job that would have the benefits and stuff, so he decided to start working. And what he ended up doing was he used Instagram as kind of a way to build his portfolio. So this is kind of his portfolio showing his work today. And he's become this, I'm going to call craft. He's this paper art. He does all these things out of paper. He cuts and folds and glues them together, and then he takes photos of it. And he's worked with Facebook, he's worked with Target, he's done all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to just kind of take you to his portfolio page. And again, how did this work? He started doing this on Instagram as a kind of a side thing. He was, you know, was working and was just trying to be creative. And he started posting these pictures. And what he did, he had this little project called From A to Zoe. His first kid was his daughter Zoe, and they would just take these pictures, and every day he would play with typography, or once a week, whatever it was. And there'd be A, applesauce, okay, and there's always Zoe's hand. Here's B for bacon, and there's Zoe's hand. So all the pictures had this, they were all food-based, and they always had Zoe's hand in there. So C, and they would kind of do some kind of type treatment with it, D for the dots, and just did, it did this whole series from A to Z, right, 26 times. And it got posted, and it kind of got going throughout the design world. And he was also, again, doing these other items back in here, some paper craft and so forth. So it allowed him to get his work out there. And, you know, since then, he's, you know, grown it into a full-time gig. Like I said, he does work for Target. He did work at Facebook for a while. Last summer, you probably saw his work. If you go to Target, this was his 2021 he did. So he builds this stuff and he takes photographs, and then they start applying it elsewhere. Okay. Father's Day, unicorn floaty. This is really made out of paper, and then he photographs it. And then they make larger ones. They'll take the same template, they're basically Illustrator, print them out, and then they can manufacture these things and send them to the stores, and the stores put them together. So it's really kind of cool stuff. And I walk in the store and go, oh, that's Tommy. I can, you know, I just know his style. I know what he does. And it's kind of awesome to see it. And they also, he's done animations with this stuff. So let me find a good little video. No, this one. So keep in mind, everything here is made out of paper. It's all paper, and there's a stop action kind of thing where it's picture, move, picture, move, picture, move to build this up. Okay, but literally everything is made out of paper. Oops, sorry, I got missed that end there where he showed it. Pull that back up. Was there another video? Hold on. Yeah, here we go. So there it is. You can see it's all fabricated. And he would just take a picture as he would go. And he would do the animation that way. And it's just mind blowing when you start to see his stuff and you start to realize literally everything's made out of paper. And now he's figured out how to do it and how to fold it to get exactly what he needs. I think he did for Clorox. Again, just kind of cool, fun stuff. But again, Instagram became one of his platforms as how he got his word out, and he would focus you back to his website. Okay, so he puts up his newest stuff here. He's doing this series of heart things. But notice that they're all just kind of showing his work. And again, they're all paper. It's just, you got to get that out of you. That's what kind of blows my mind is when you start looking at this stuff, is how he's learned to craft paper so well. Goes through a lot of X-Acto knives. So very cool stuff. Okay, but it's become his portfolio, and it's easy to update. Okay, so as he has it done, you can put it right up. There's no HTML, there's no coding, there's nothing. It's just bam, it's up. So really great way of using Instagram, I think, from a professional standpoint, is to kind of build up your own portfolio. And again, he's using it for his portfolio. And I'm not sure if he should be hashtagging, but I'm not sure. A lot of it he's not, because he's got a following. People in the business kind of know who he is, so he's not as worried about bringing new people in. But hashtags is how you tend to grow it. Okay. Artist, I don't know if the artist, entrepreneur, business person that you should be following is Gary Vaynerchuk. He has several books. I think he's got about 4 books out now. He's got a new book coming out next month. He was really big into social. He got into it early on. He was doing YouTube's. He started with a wine business. His dad had a liquor store, kind of built into this online wine business. And then he got into more social media, and he built basically a social media or advertising company. So it's kind of based on the social, but it's actually grown into more of a traditional advertising to some degree. But again, it's been over the years. He started from nothing, just a kid in New Jersey, kind of growing up. But he's a really cool guy because he's a giver, meaning he's always trying to tell you how he does it. He's not trying to keep secrets. If you listen to his videos, go to his website, read his books, all of those things will give you basically the tools to do this. So he'll talk about hashtags, or he'll talk about, posting, and he'll talk about, just kind of doing it. Because so many times people hold themselves back because someone said you can't do it, or it's not possible, or that's not going to work. And they listen to them, and if you believe in something, just kind of do it. And then we have these platforms now that allow us to mass market and promote these ideas. You couldn't do this 20 years ago. Now you could do a little bit. You could have a website. 40 years ago, websites weren't even existing, type of thing. You would have to do mass marketing, would be television, radio, newspaper, magazines, and those all cost a lot, and they still cost a lot. A TV ad still is tens of thousands of dollars. It's not, $50. Whereas on the social media, these platforms we have, you can do it for free. Okay, so you can put your work out there for nothing. You can promote it. You can pay to have it advertised, of course, but you can put it out there for free to promote your ideas and your brand and your stories. And that's a different time. And I think that's what you guys have to start to realize is you're living in that time. So look at Gary Vaynerchuk. I think he has some good ideas. I've read his books and I've seen, many videos on him. And I mean, what I've learned, a lot of it came out of his ideas and his thoughts and just how he does it. So he's really kind of up on that. He's been into NFTs lately, and he goes down and he talks about some of the stuff way before it ever comes out. Like he's been talking about NFTs for a long time, well before it kind of became an established thing. I'm not quite into that at all at this point, but if you watch him and you listen to him, he'll oftentimes give you kind of the trends of things that are happening before they are happening. He's been pretty big into LinkedIn as a way of communicating lately. But again, LinkedIn is a little bit more business oriented, but again, he thought it was a kind of an underestimated or underutilized social platform that's been out there. So he's, and he'll go through and tell you why he likes things, or he'll link you to something else that will do it. So I think he's a good person to watch and stay abreast on. And he's got, a couple companies that work with, and obviously 9 million followers at this point. So he's doing pretty good. Let's see if he's following me. I don't think he's following back, man. No, does not look like he's following back. Oh well, someday. All right, so it's working. It's posting. It's again coming up with content. And again, you can make your own. All right, and you can see that Gary's is not like, wow, that's the best picture ever. He's just kind of putting stuff up and typing things in, meme-like kind of feel. That's perfectly fine. It could be, like I said, finding a source or finding things. And also, don't be afraid to ask. So let's say we did, I wanted to post on topography. So I went through and I found some topography design stuff. And I'm like, wow, whoa, that's kind of cool. I love that 8, right? That's just a beautiful 8. Look at the colors and how it's being swirled, and they work that out. Don't be afraid to message David. He's got 11,000 followers. That's adequate. That's good. To message them, say, hey, dude, I love this post. Can I repost it and give you credit? You always want to give credit whenever you post, right? Don't say it was you, whatever. You have to say, I got this post. Thank you, David, for sharing this or allowing me to share it and tag them. I tag them not only in the post, the story of it, but also in the picture itself. But say, hey, this is cool. Can I repost it? 90% of the time, the people are going to go, yeah, repost. Just give me credit, because they understand that's how their word gets out. That's how people start to follow them, is by people seeing it. Okay, so don't be afraid to do that, and that's kind of how I started. I had my own pictures with the national parks, but I also started going, hey, that's a great picture. Can I repost it? People said, sure. And then I would say, ask somebody else, hey, that's a great picture. Can I repost it? Sure. And next thing you know, you're building content. Okay. And next thing you know, they're coming to you saying, hey, I see you have a fairly large following. I'd love to have you repost. Or I see that you say hashtag National Park Geek and you repost. Okay. So if you did hashtag something that was unique, California type or typography or something like that, you could use that, and then people will repost using that hashtag, so you can repost their stuff. They're kind of giving you carte blanche invitation. So it's a pretty cool little system, and it does work. And but you got to be patient. You got to be consistent. Don't expect it to blow up to 1 million people overnight or any of that stuff. I mean, obviously, anything's possible, but know that if you're consistent and you do it, it will grow.
I have a question.
Yes.
I typed it in the chat, but is it better to start with low count hashtags for like post wise, or is it or should you just start out with all the high counts when it comes to hashtags?
I think I would mix it. I would mix it, because it depends on what you're doing. Look first, just spend a half hour looking at hashtags, and we just been looking at type, and you can kind of go through here and go, okay, which ones are working, meaning they have a large count, and then which ones aren't, which are more specific. And then there's also, in this case, there's like Bangladesh. That's a geographical specific tag, and that's okay too. So you could hashtag Los Angeles or Orange County or hashtag SoCal with your work. They're bigger, and you're liable to get in some extra people that way, as they're just kind of going through that, looking at that hashtag, and they're going to go, "Well, that's kind of cool. Let me come and like that." But you also want to be specific, because otherwise people aren't going to find you that are looking for type or something like that. Does that make sense? I think it's a mix. But I think it's more, if I had to I lean into more specific kind of related hashtags than just Los Angeles, hashtag Los Angeles, or hashtag, sunny day type of thing. But always make them, related, because if you do like hashtag Los Angeles, it's because you're in Los Angeles, you're in Orange County, whatever it happens to be. You're not doing hashtag London if the picture has nothing to do with London. Does that make sense? If the design or the artist or you were in London and got a great picture of topography there, you can then, of course, do hashtag London. But I kind of keep it related, because it just kind of messes with people, like, well, I'm looking for London and I saw this come up. So you're kind of wasting a hashtag. I don't know how much Instagram tracks all that stuff, but I know they do a lot. They do a lot of analytics and tracking and database stuff. So, in order just to me, it just makes sense to kind of tag what's related to some degree.
You just want it to be themed to the posts that you're making.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, if hashtag sunset, which I'm sure there's a bazillion of, right? I mean, it's got to be, the numbers got to be nuts out there. And I'm posting this logo that I did on Planet, right? That's somebody's logo. Somebody did a logo concept, right? And it looks like they're doing maybe one a day. I don't know, whatever. But it's a nice little logo. It's nice, nothing wrong with it. Showing off their skill. Let's look at my graphics people, Dave. 12,000. And this is just somebody who's a designer got a little company, and they're just doing your logos, right? And they're nice, nothing wrong. And they're kind of, it's not that they're somewhat predictable to some degree, but they're nice, they're clean, they're well done, nothing wrong with that. And if they were to do, a hashtag in here and it was like sunset, that wouldn't make sense. Now they're doing logos, logo passion, logo brand. So they've looked at all the logo ones that are doing logo designer. I would even do like hashtag moon, hashtag, well, maybe space, hashtag design, hashtag graphic design. Again, these are, yes, they're a little bit broader sometimes, but again, it's going to potentially bring in other people along with the specifics that you're using here. So it's kind of mixed, but I think, going specific for a fair amount of them is good. That's going to get you your people that you're trying to market towards. Yeah, because think of it as marketing. All right, that's really what the hashtags are. If you're trying to sell, I don't know, kids yo-yos, you're a big toy company, Mattel, and you got the newest yo-yo in the world, and it's awesome, everybody's loving it, and you think it's going to be the whole trend for Christmas. You're going to promote and you're going to advertise it. If you got money for TV and stuff, you're going to do it on, Disney TV and Nickelodeon and those kind of things. You're not going to put it on Fox News potentially, right? Why would you do that? The kids aren't watching that, or CNN. Okay, kids aren't watching it, so they're not going to need to see the commercial. You want to put the commercial in front of the audience that you're going to be you're gearing to, right? So it would be Nickelodeon or Disney, and then they're going to go to mom and go, Mom, can you get me the yo-yo for Christmas? So think of hashtags really kind of as that demographic. How do you pick your audience? Hashtags are a way to pick your audience out. Others? Questions? Like I said, you got to just kind of do it. I think you work it out, but it's kind of being consistent. If people know you're posting every day, they'll come back and look at it, and you'll show up in their feeds, and that's a good thing. But also liking, so when you start to like pictures, people are going to start to come and go, hey, who was that looked at my thing? Because we all do that. We all look at that person, we'll look on their. So as we get the people that start to like our photos, they're going to show up in the list, or they're going to show up on that photo. You're going to start to tend to click on them and go, wait, who is that? Okay. Ooh, they like my picture. That's kind of cool. And it is cool. People like to be liked. That's the social side of it all. I'll get comments, people all the time going, hey, thanks for liking my picture, right? They're a longtime follower. Maybe you liked my picture the other day. That was cool. And I can't like everybody's, and I can't repost everybody's picture here. But I know people see it and like it, that you're doing that. So, again, get into it in that sense and share and like it that way, right? I mean, at the very least go, hey, I like what you've done. I like what you're doing. I like the story you're telling, type of thing. And it doesn't have to always be, like I said, you don't have to always follow everything. It's just based on you. Feel free to follow what you like, right? I mean, if you like, Jerry Seinfeld and he's got a Instagram, follow it. Okay. It's okay to mix it up and do that kind of stuff. All right, questions? Comments? Nothing? I bored y'all, huh? Oh, sorry. I thought you would get into it. I'm trying to make it famous like the dude with the sign. He has some good hashtags. Somebody picked them up.
How do you find, I mean, this is kind of a broad question, but how do you find inspiration on how to start a certain channel, or not a channel, but you guys, you can just call it like an account for like Instagram or whatnot. But you don't know exactly how to, or just, I don't know, like the direction that you want to go with like a page or whatnot on like Instagram or
Yeah.
social media.
Well, I say one, don't think you have to have all the answers. Just start. I hate to say it, but many people are like, oh, I don't know. Well, I got to work it out. No, just start it. And if it doesn't work, you can delete stuff or change stuff or build a new thing. It doesn't matter. I started as a kind of a way to just design. I mean, I've been, designing and teaching for, basically all of my adult life. One of the two or both combined. And, I just said, hey, I like the parks. I like going to them. There's a lot of places out there I think people would love to realize and learn about. And I wanted to be supportive of the parks. So I started the National Park Geek thing. And I came up with a logo. I'm a designer. I can do that. And then I went into, the Instagram. And then I said, hey, I can make some stickers and some patches out of this and sell them. And I started, selling stickers and some patches while also doing the Instagram. And then I built up a little e-commerce website, did research into how to do that. And we'll talk about that. We'll go into like kind of e-commerce and how you can do t-shirts or stickers or anything like that. You can set that up yourself. I'll give you kind of a directional for that. And it just kind of grew from there. Okay, so it was really something I liked doing. I enjoyed doing. It was a little bit somewhat of an experiment of like, I don't know how to do it all, but let's figure it out. And I still don't know how to do it all. I'm still figuring it out. And it's taken me to places I'd never thought about. And now I crunch, I do invoices and I do shipping and things that aren't even as much fun as it was. I mean, it wasn't as I didn't start the company so I could do invoices, but it's a part of the company, so you have to do it. But it is still fun. It's still exciting. It's still awesome to do. But I didn't have all the answers. I just kind of went, and it's grown since. So don't think you got to have everything figured out. And hey, I'm going to do 18 t-shirts, and I'm going to do no, just kind of go. And if you're like, hey, you want to do a design, do a design. If you want to do a t-shirt, that's cool. If you want to do a patch, a sticker. If you don't want to sell anything, you could just sell ideas, right? You can do online classes on how to take pictures or how to edit photos in Photoshop. Now that you know how to use Photoshop, you can just work that up into better things. Or you're going to promote your YouTubes or whatever you want to do. Don't worry about having all the answers. Just kind of go with it. You'll figure it out. Don't worry. And if it's not something you like, go on to something else. Nothing saying you can't. Others. Did that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. Others? All right. So I want you to keep thinking about your logos. Sketch it, doodle it. Again, this sketch I did the other day for a thing I'm trying to work with. It's a sketch. You look at it and go, what the heck is that? That's okay. You don't need to know. It's really for you to get your ideas back out again. And I want you to kind of sketch ideas down, work it up, come up with a cool name for your travel agency and kind of like the demographics, the focus that you want to do for that. And we're going to get back to designing again on Thursday. So don't worry that. And we'll get through the projects also. So don't sweat. Everybody's good. We're all working along. The main thing is you're getting the programs, you're feeling good about it. And then again, I want to add some added value, stuff like this, the social and those other things that you can start to utilize. Again, you're never too young to do this. Don't think that you have to be 30 and have an MBA from Harvard to do this. Just kind of do it. And you don't even have to have a degree, right? I mean, I want you to go forward. I want you to get a degree because that's one thing they can never take away from you is your degrees. right? You can lose your house, you can lose your dog, but you'll never lose your degree once you earn it. So I want you to get your degrees, but don't wait. Okay, you don't have to wait to get it all done. Go and learn and get experience and figure things out. You just never know where it's going to take you. And it's like I said, this is a really exciting time for you guys, for all of us. But for you guys, you're young and you can just kind of go crazy and build something out of nothing. And I'm here to say you can do that. You can build something out of nothing, and use your creativity and your designs and your dreams and goals. You put it all together and come up with something. And it's not like don't worry about it. It's been done already. Do it again. Do it better. Just because there's an Amazon doesn't mean there can't be a second one. Okay. Just because there's a Facebook or Instagram doesn't mean there can't be a better one. Okay. And it will be. Trust me on this. I mean, it's you guys are talking about things go up in trends and come down. How many of you guys are hardcore Facebook users? Use it every day now, all the time. You're on there. Anybody? Not a hand goes up.
Can't
Because
say I do.
you do. Okay. But I'm saying for the most part, their demographics have totally shifted, right? From it started obviously for college kids. It was kind of a dating kind of thing, communicating kind of thing, college based. And now it's maybe seniors, okay, or olders, 40s, 50s, don't even have a Facebook. I get you. I get it. I have it because of my business. And I'll go in and look at it, I don't know, we'll just say I spend 30 minutes a week on it, which is not a lot compared to other things, but I get into just from business standpoint, just to make sure things are going okay. And nobody's talking bad about my business on Facebook. But, the numbers have changed. Okay. And to say Facebook is going to be as relevant as it was, is, or will be in 10 years, who's to say? Because something else came along, right? TikTok came along and took it over, or whatever. We just don't know. So don't think that you got to have it all figured out. Go with it. And, again, you'll figure it out as you go. And that's kind of in many ways, that's kind of the fun part. It's kind of why I like teaching, and it's because I get to learn these computer programs over and over every time they come out with something new, where it's like, hey, there's a new way of teaching, a new way of talking about something. That's exciting. I like that. And I think you're going to figure that out too. With learning things is cool. And in these programs are ways that you can learn little things here and there as you go. So, take it and go forward. Seriously. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of opportunities for you guys. And I'm here to talk about it too. If you have other things you want to talk about with it, or questions, let me know. Like I said, we have time and we can make those things work out. I just want you to know that these opportunities are here for you guys. Not just using these programs, but starting to utilize these programs to create something else. All right, questions? All right. So I will see you guys all on Facebook. No, I won't.
Catch me on MySpace.
Well, MySpace, yeah, dude. Right. That was it, right? I don't know, half you guys probably don't know what MySpace is anymore. I don't even know if I had a MySpace, but I know it was big. Big with the kids. Always big with the kids. I did have Napster, dude. That was so cool. You could like just get music for free.
Oh no, that's a throwback.
Oh, that was like, yeah, you felt a little dirty because you knew it was wrong to do it, but you were like, that's free music, man. Their music, man. Those people are making lots of money anyway, so they're not gonna miss a couple.
Yeah,
songs.
stick it to the man.
Exactly, man. And Napster was awesome. Now you got to pay, whatever it is, a couple bucks a month to Apple to get endless songs. They figured it out. But work on your ideas for your travel logos. We're gonna work on them again on Thursday. We'll go through some demos. I'm sorry, hold on that. I'll be done in a second.
Is it an airplane or?
That's the lawnmower in my complex. The dude, every Tuesday they cut the grass. So just happened to be coming by at this time to cut the grass. Anyway, so work on the logos. Get the naming down. Figure out what the name of your company is, and we'll start going through. You guys can Thursday shout, hey, my company's called this, and we'll play with some typography just to kind of get you guys going and give you ideas on how to kind of work this stuff. And we'll work up some ideas with that, and then we're gonna keep going forward. All right, we're gonna pick the pace up a little bit. Well, we got time. If you have an idea name, awesome, right? Just kind of, if you haven't, get it, okay? And then start to research it. Like I said, figure out kind of what's maybe unique about your travel agency. You're specific to certain areas or certain types of travel or certain demographics, ages and all those kind of things. So, just kind of brainstorm on some of that as to what you're going to be doing. And again, that will help with the design process. And we're going to go through that a little bit more specifically on Thursday of kind of working up the logo.
Quick question.
Yes.
So I know you said that we're going to be going through it this Thursday, like in detail, but
Yes.
Are you going to be putting up some sort of prompt for the like parameters of the project?
Yeah, I'll give it to you, but I can tell you, I've already told you all the parameters.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
parameter is the logo for a travel agency.
Okay.
I mean, the other parameter I'm going to give you is here's a deadline, right? And we're going to be using Illustrator type of thing. I'm not going to give you parameters like it's got to be circle or a square, or it's got to have a palm tree in it, or an airplane type of thing. But we'll go through it so you guys have a feel for it. Because again, I want you guys to be creative. I don't want to stifle you with too many parameters as we start to go here. Okay. My madness makes sense after a while, trust me. All right. Anything else? All right, guys. Like I said, have a good day. We'll meet up on MySpace, and we'll see each other Thursday. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks,
guys.
Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you.